I wanted to go back to a comment that Ms. Pickett made a couple meetings ago. I won't say it's been haunting me, but it's really made me think. Do only healthy young people have the right to live in a nice, quiet neighborhood? I just want to let that idea simmer a little bit, because I've said this before. To me, this is a residential facility. It's larger than most single-family homes, although I could show you some that are this large, that have 2 people living in them. That's another story. But it's only 1 story. It's at the very end of the street, tucked behind a bunch of trees, tucked behind a wetland. So in terms of visual impact on the neighborhood, there's hardly any, because driving down 34th, driving down K, you won't even see the facility unless you happen to drive all the way down the extra block to the end and into their driveway. So visually, I don't see that there's any appreciable impact on the neighborhood. And it is a place where people will live quietly next to a wetland, only covers 23% of the lot instead of the 50% that would be permitted in that neighborhood. I agree with Mr. Turner that the total impact of the traffic will be similar to the amount of traffic that 6 or 7 single-family homes could have. Some of those homes might have 1 or 2 cars. Some of them might have teenagers and have 3 or 4 cars. Some of them may get UPS delivery several times a week. Some of them may have moving vans coming and going. So there will be some traffic, even with single-family homes. As somebody pointed out a minute ago, the garbage trucks will be the same regardless of whether it's this facility or single-family homes. So, and we have the traffic studies from nationally recognized organizations that confirm that even though there may be a little more traffic, there's not going to be exponentially more traffic than would be if it was developed for individual families in individual homes versus people living together in a facility where someone is helping care for them. So to me, the primary traffic issue is children's safety. And not just children, anybody. The safety, for example, of the employees of this facility walking to work if they happen to live close, or walking to the public bus stop, or riding their bicycle to work if they're able to do that. So I think in my mind, I do see a nexus between pedestrian safety and this facility, because there will be clearly more traffic than is on the street now. How much more, we don't know. I don't see a nexus, for the reasons I just stated, between the amount of additional traffic and putting in full street improvements, or even half street improvements, because I feel like whatever goes in there, there would be some trucks, there would be some cars, there would be some motorcycles, whatever. There would be some kids riding their skateboards. I don't think we can expect this developer or any developer to improve an entire substandard street for several blocks based on what we know about the traffic. But I do think what we know about pedestrian safety needs to be addressed. So I would propose, and I took the time to write this so I'd be sure I said what I intended. And so I'll just read this for consideration right now. I'm not making a motion. But to change condition 25 to say the developer shall provide a 5-foot wide concrete sidewalk along the east side of K Avenue from the site to 32nd Street and along one side of 34th Street from K Avenue to M Avenue, which allows the staff to work with the neighborhood and decide which side. And these shall be constructed prior to beginning construction on the project site, because I think it's important for the sidewalks to be in place before the construction trucks start coming and going to build the building. And the sidewalks shall be separated from the street by a curb and or planting area, because that's something else that was brought up in the testimony, so that cars don't park on the sidewalk. So that I'm throwing that out as a possible mitigation language. And I have some copies of this if people want.
Mr. Mayor?
Ms. Pickett?
So, Ms. Richardson, how many